speaker, Dr. Lam Ying Keat, Circle of Excellence 1, Blue Diamond from Singapore. So before that, I would just like to give a quick introduction for Dr. Lam. Dr. Lam was a dentist before she decided to actually embark on a new journey with New Skin. Her decision to join New Skin became even more meaningful when she actually faced a personal health challenge. And today she will be sharing her story, why she chose New Skin, and how Prysm IO supports her to initiate meaningful conversation with new customers and strengthen customer retention within her business. So without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Lam. Hello, Dr.
Hi,
Lam.
Fion.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hi everybody. Hi, New Skin Southeast Asia and New Skin Pacific. Thank you, New Skin, for inviting me to share my story. I hope I will be able to share something meaningful for everybody.
Yes. So I'll pass over to you,
Okay.
Dr. Lam.
Okay. Allow me to get my slides to start sharing. Okay, you can see my slides, right? Yes.
Yes, all good.
Okay. As Fion mentioned, I am actually a dentist by profession. Actually, what brought me to New Skin was very much because I started my own dental business at 26 years old. Okay. It was because me and my group of friends, when we were young, 26 years old, we had very big dreams. Okay. But we had poor business knowledge and we had poor execution skills. So what we did was we thought it was a good idea to build a business where we can have a lot of people work for us, and then we can just go and relax and chill. Okay. But of course, for those of you who know, when you run a business, it doesn't work this way. But we were very young and immature, and we made business mistakes. So one of the things that we did was, because we had lofty dreams, we decided to start a business. I mean, if you know Singapore, most of you know Orchard Road. It's a very famous road in Singapore, right? All the tourists also go there. And we decided to start in a very, it's more premium mall in Orchard Road on the 11th floor where nobody walks by. Okay, so everybody is downstairs. Okay, you don't go to the 11th floor of a building in Orchard Road. So we set up a nice clinic, and at the beginning, the clinic really looked like this, empty, because nobody knew we were there. Okay, so of course, what I'm trying to say is that we actually had to take hard knocks of the business. I learned what real business is like, and it also became very apparent over time that I'm actually having to trade time for money, because I'm the most important person in my whole revenue generation. I always have to be there. It got really tiring, and I even had to work long hours, day and night, just to make things work. So at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how long is this going to last? For the first 5 years of me starting this dental business, I was working every single day. My so-called rest day or off day was only on a public holiday. And we all know that Singapore has the least public holidays in the whole of this Southeast Asia region, right? So if I got tired, and I was looking at how other people make money. How is it that other people can have a very different life, but how am I, as a dentist, able to do that? And the more as I progressed as a dentist, the further I could see that it could get me to the ideal life that I was looking for. Okay, so it happened by chance that I was doing a night clinic because I was trying to make ends meet at that point of time when we started, because our overheads were really, really high. I met this lady by chance, and she turns out she was actually a world champion gymnast from China. Okay, she had a toothache one night. I was about to close the clinic. I was so tired. It was nearly 10 p.m., but I had to see her. And what happened was that she became a patient of mine, and she was thinking in her mind, wow, this dentist can make appointment anytime. Sunday night or every time, right? I was working all the time. And she thought I had really bad health, and she decided to invite me to look at this thing called the biophotonic scanner. Of course, at the previous time, it was the older version of the biophotonic scanner. I decided to just give her some face, right? And I decided to show up. Okay, so I scanned, and the part about it was that I scanned. I think nobody can beat me. It's the worst of the worst score. Okay, at that point of time, there's this score called less than 10,000. So I was less than 10,000. I was very, very poor. Why? Because I was highly stressed, not enough rest, not taking care of myself, doing all those things that we shouldn't be doing, because I was young. I was running on youthful energy. Okay. But what I saw was, at that point of time, wow, she talked to me for 2 hours. She brought me to the New Skin office. There were so many people, and I don't know what they were there talking about, because they were just talking. And I bought a back box of Life Pack. And at that point of time, I said, I was just curious, like, how do you make money? Because Life Pack, 100 over Singapore dollars. Um, how do you make money? You talked to me for 2 hours. And then that was when the business plan was shown to me. They drew the circles. And actually, my very, very first instinct was, hey, this is the business I'm looking for. And I didn't really know exactly. I didn't even know it was network marketing. I didn't even know it had skincare. But my instinct was, this is the business I was looking for, because very simply, I was looking for a way to have a different life. And I could see that being as a dentist, yes, the job is rewarding, but I couldn't see how the quality of life it could give me in the long run, right? So I decided to look at it further, and rather immediately, I decided to start building this business. Okay. So along the way, then I realized, wow, because it's about scale. Okay. In my dental clinic, it's not a small one-man show clinic. It's actually a dental group. And having said that, I also want to share that it doesn't mean that I started building New Skin, that my dental clinic didn't flourish. Actually, it has done really, really well, and has grown. It's won awards as well. Because why I share this is because many people think, oh, this person is coming to build this business. Maybe they cannot make it in their job. Maybe their business cannot is not doing well, right? But I want to share, it's not because the business is not doing well, but because the type of life that I realized I wanted, I could not get it if I continued to grow my dental group. So I'm extremely grateful for New Skin, because for many, many years, I felt so vulnerable. I didn't even dare to go and do things that I love. Okay. Anything that would result in injury, because I couldn't afford an injury. In the moment I injured any part of my body, and as long as I could not work as a dentist, the overheads of my business will compound so quickly, I might go bankrupt. So thankfully, I managed, because of New Skin, before COVID, I actually sold off my entire dental group, 100%. Okay. And it really saved me, because I cannot imagine having to run the whole thing during COVID. And I've been starting to do things which I used to be so afraid of doing. Curling. Have you tried it? It's really dangerous, because you fall on hard ice, and it's really difficult. I really admire people who actually get onto this sport. I started skiing, and I started doing all the different things that I love, and used to fear doing, on top of having the time freedom as well. Okay, so today I would like to share with you about this thing called Prysm. So why I'm passionate about it, because don't forget, I came in because somebody invited me to look at the biophotonic scanner, right? So with Prysm IO, what I realized is, okay, as a dentist, okay, when we talk about wellness, do you know oral health is a form of wellness? Okay. And all of you here, right? I'm very sure everybody does this. You brush your teeth. Everybody brushes their teeth. And in fact, some people, just before they come and see the dentist, they brush extra, right? Just a few days before. They are very diligent. Okay, but I would like to ask you this question. Does just brushing your teeth really, really complete the whole oral health. Very simply, just one extra step. How many of you do this? How many of you floss your teeth? Very low percentage. I'm very, very sure, right? You all know that you're supposed to do this, right? But you don't. Why? It takes more time. It's a bit more difficult, right? So what I'm trying to say is that for wellness in general, a lot of people have a problem forming and sustaining a habit because when everything is well and nothing is seemingly wrong, why do I need to change? Why do I need to do something else? Right? And this is something that if you notice as a dentist, actually we work a lot on wellness as well, preventing you from having tooth decay, right? So in our aspect in New Skin, uh, we work on wellness, but to keep people forming the right habits. So what I've learned over time as a professional is that people don't stay consistent with products or even with advice, right? Or habits, okay? They stay consistent when they see measurable progress, okay? And where does the wellness industry come up? Actually, every living human being is involved with wellness, every single one. Okay, so you think about it, how big is this market for your business? Okay, so why Prysm IO? I feel that it solves the biggest problem in wellness with is this, they have to be able to answer this for people to want to sustain a habit is, am I actually improving? Isn't it right? If you have an issue and you find that you are actually improving, then you will at least try to continue it more and more, right? And it gives higher retention. So our biggest challenge, I assume that we're talking to all the business partners today, our biggest challenge is sometimes people saying, yes, I will try the supplements, but they are not consistent. And because they're not consistent, they don't really get to the point where they actually have the overall benefits of the products can really work on them before they decide that, oh, this is not for me. Okay, so the Prysm IO is amazing, and it's also great because it tracks behavior. It really helps motivation and forming habits. So all this I think we know. But one other thing that I really love about Prysm IO is its ability to allow me to have repeat engagement and follow up. Because even if the person is not ready, I can always ask for a follow-up. Okay, so I'm going to share with everybody, I do my best, how I actually use the Prysm IO and how I have shared with my team on how to use the Prysm IO. Okay, uh, first things first is I think New Skin has given us so much information. The scientists have spoken, there's so many videos and everything about Prysm IO and the products. Every business builder should take their own initiative to I mean, we go and learn about these products. Okay, and we have to be a customer, the best customer, and to be a product of the product. Okay, so this foundation, I think it's a standard for I think our business in general, and so this is a must-have. Okay, and I think all of us do this. The business is very simple. All of us do this. We invite, we scan, we advise or recommend, we close. And what I love is I can rescan and I can get a referral. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the things that I've learned because honestly, Prysm IO got into our hands end of last 2025. Initially, I was really bad at it. My closing rate, I didn't know how to deal with it. I wasn't very, my closing rate wasn't great. People were just scanning and then I didn't know how to deal with the results, you know. So you might be experiencing that. But of course, the great part about our business is we learn. And I want to attribute a large portion of what I've learned to actually one of the team elites in the US, Dr. Stephen Moore. I heard a sharing of his and I adapted what he shared, and this is what I do with my team. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Stephen Moore. So invite. Actually, nowadays, very simple. I just invite people to meet me for a coffee. And very simply, I will talk to them and then I will just bring this out of my bag and I will say, hey, can I show you my new toy? Right? And everybody just wants to just measure, okay? So I do that. So, but then when the person says, okay, I want to measure, this is one step that I learned, okay? I always get them to key in, to fill up a very simple questionnaire. Very, very simple one. Some of the key questions, so you can adapt your own questionnaire, but why I'm going to share with you, some of the key questions I asked in the questionnaire is, what is your number one wellness concern? Sometimes people will, in that they will say sleep, weight, you know, cholesterol or something. I don't know, which before that is hard to bring up in conversation. Okay. The next question I ask is, are you taking supplements? If so, what are you taking now? And from here, I uncover all kinds of things. Some people are taking another form of probiotics, another form of omega, another form of just vitamin C, and so on and so forth. So it allows me to form some idea of my prospect, right? And actually, I learned a lot of things because I actually put this questionnaire out with some people I'm close to, and I was surprised that they were answering some questions, and I didn't know about all these things because we just never talked about it. Okay, and then I will ask them this question: how motivated are you improving your nutritional concern? Right? And I see, maybe some of them say, no, it's not important. It's okay, right? But some people say, yeah, I am rather interested. And then I ask the next question. Are you interested in learning how nutritional supplements can help with your wellness routine? And I see their reaction again. Okay, but the most important key question I learned is, how much are you willing to invest in your nutritional well-being daily? Okay, so why I do this, because sometimes we scan, people get excited, and then the moment we show them, well, the price of the life pack or the price of supplements, the first thing they will just keep thinking is expensive. But I don't even let them get there. Okay, so I will ask these questions, okay, and then I put their finger on the device. Okay, and I very quickly I say, hey, your score is influenced by a lot of factors. Okay, not just one thing. Very quickly I briefly tell them, and then if they had written sleep, weight in what their concerns, I say, hey, if you have poor sleep, your score is not so good. Hey, if you reduce fat, this will improve. So, and I'm talking to them as they do that, and I always manage their score expectations. Okay, if you don't manage their score expectation, then they say, hey, I think I'm fine one. Okay, so what is, at the beginning, I didn't know how to manage the score expectations. Okay, but now I've learned, really, actually, for anybody, when we talk about wellness score, we want to be optimal. Okay, wellness score. I mean, even in your other health indicators, who wants to have mild high blood pressure? Who wants to be borderline diabetic? Borderline, never mind, like, it's not very bad. I mean, nobody does that. So for wellness, I always say, hey, you want to be good, we go for optimal. Okay. But if you are in the blue zone, if you're this number, I actually give them a grade. Okay. And so that kind of prep. So the moment their score comes up, already I have leeway to actually share with them how to move to being optimal. Okay, and before I even get to the supplements, actually, when I have the coffee, when I'm talking to my friend, when I bring this out, when they are actually filling out the questionnaire, when they get to how much are you willing to pay for your nutritional supplements, I already bring this into the conversation. That means I will say, hey, well, we are sharing this cake. Well, it's $6, $9, right? It's expensive, or the drink, right? And I say, hey, actually, all these are not not helping with our health. But think about it, we actually do spend so much of these on these a day. So it kind of frames their thinking that, yeah, I actually do spend money on all these. So, and then that is when, so this is what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to shift their mindset towards, can I spend smarter on healthier, right? and not to spend on bad things. Okay, because if you talk about a box of life pack in Singapore, it's actually it's about $5 a day, right? And are people spending $5 a day on cigarettes, on on I don't know, your bubble tea or so on and so forth? They are. So they don't realize that where their priorities lie. And if I can shift that fundamental thinking, actually my closing rate has become higher. Then that is when I give them options. So I also credit this to Dr. Stephen Moore because I really watch his video. So I give him options. And I find that with these options, I have people who are prepared to even spend more. And they really, really then have a choice. My closing rate is a lot higher. Okay. And of course, I never forget, in Singapore, in Malaysia, I think in Southeast Asia, TRME is a very big proponent for a product for us. And I always talk to them about all the other aspects of health and how to become leaner as well. Okay, so this is how I use it, right? And immediately I always bring people into subscription. And I want to thank New Skin because they have come up with a fantastic subscription plan. uh Actually everything, there's no reason why a person shouldn't go on subscription. Okay, because that's the best way of everything. It's got all these perks, and I tell my team, you know what's the best way to learn how to put people on subscription? You have to go on subscription yourself. You have to be the own ARO customer. And actually, once they do that, nobody comes and asks me how to do subscription, how to order, how to get this voucher or anything anymore. So this one, everybody, if we are in the business, we need to have our own subscription. Okay, and I always, because I might not be able to close, or even if I close, I always book the next rescan because I want to find a way to increase retention, to connect with my customer again. So for example, I will ask, hey, maybe I know, yeah, she said, yeah, I'm going to make my own changes, don't worry, and whatever. I said, okay, maybe I will touch base with you in about 2 months time, and then let's measure again, see whatever you're doing is okay or not. Give me a chance, right? The person, yeah, okay, contact me then. So then I will contact the person again. So it gives me chance to continue to follow up with people rather than, oh, what am I supposed to do with this person down the road again? Okay, so the importance of rescans, I have done multiple rescans, and I've got people who have taken the product, then for whatever reason, just uh, forgot the habit and then fell off the bandwagon and didn't again. But just by scanning, then the person says, okay lah, I should get back again. I'm going to get back on the supplements, which she did. And then let's measure again. Okay, so I've got customers who are like that. So it brings me back that I can follow up again. It really helped transition my TRME customers to long-term customers. Okay, and actually, I do not only close on Prysm IO related products. Honestly, I've closed people on all kinds of things. I've got this the nighttime formula. I've closed so much. And every time I show up, I also make sure that I also look the part of new skin. I make sure my skin is good. So even when they're scanning and I talk to them, hey, skin health is also related to our internal health, they say, yeah, your skin's very good. Sometimes I end up closing the galvanic spa, the Lumi spa, anything that can get my customer to use a new skin product, so they will open the door to understand that, wow, these products are great, wow, these products can do, and then hopefully they can expand different kinds of consumption. And I always, for rescan, I always look for referrals. I always ask, hey, would somebody benefit? Can I measure your sister? Can I measure your husband? So on and so forth. Okay, so I mean, this is what I do. I'm just trying to share what I experienced, and of course, as we keep learning as we go along, like in any business that we do or any entrepreneurial journey. So I just want to share with you why I truly appreciate all the tools that Nu Skin has set out to me. So as Fionn had shared earlier, uh, actually exactly 4 years ago, all right, I went for a regular health check, and by chance I actually discovered that I had breast cancer. Okay, and I go for regular health checks also because my family has a history of breast cancer. And when I did all the immediately the doctors did genetic testing for me, and turns out I really carry the genes for breast and ovarian cancer. So what I'm trying to say is that yes, we take all these supplements is to reduce risk, right, of health issues down the road, but anything can also happen. So but I will really, really appreciate what happened after. So because I have a high risk of breast and ovarian cancer, even though my cancer was detected early, the final treatment that I opted for was very, very aggressive. I went for a very aggressive surgery that lasted 11 hours. Okay. And I was so shocked because when I woke up, this is me taking a selfie of myself 3 hours after my 11-hour surgery. Okay. I couldn't believe it because I was just thinking like how badly, whether it's going to be tough for me. But I was surprised at how my body reacted. Even the medical personnel was surprised how my body reacted and how quickly, which is like a few hours later, I was walking around and doing things, and how my body responded, right? And also I could do things like even do masks in the hospital. Um, and I also had to go for chemotherapy. Okay. Uh, this was 4 years ago, and we were still actually in the midst of COVID. So I was very much sheltered, and it was only during chemotherapy that I met other people. Okay, and during chemotherapy, you will notice that everybody else is doing chemotherapy at the same time as you. Okay, I was also firstly very appreciative that if you look carefully at my picture, every time I go and see the doctor will ask me, how come you are glowing? Why is your skin glowing? Because when I look around, everybody else who's doing chemotherapy, nobody is glowing. Okay, nobody is glowing. And what surprised me was also how my body could cope with the whole process. All the nasty things you can think about, honestly, I was very fortunate to not have any of these nasty side effects. I recovered extremely quickly. I could exercise during the whole process. I was eating really well. Uh, and what happened was that when my parents looked at me, they said she looks very fine. I mean, how many of you here are parents? If you have a kid, and maybe your kid has maybe hand, foot, mouth disease, for example, but your kid, instead of lying in bed and moaning and groaning, is running around the house, even though he's has hand, foot, mouth disease. What do you think? You will feel better, right? You will not feel so worried, right? So in the same way, what I experienced at that point of time was I saw that the foundational health that I built through the long-term habitual use of the new skin products really, really gave me the edge when my body needed it the most. Okay, because sometimes, honestly, when we take the supplements, yeah, can I really see what's happening? Nobody really sees. But when crunch time, when your body really needs it, it's not because suddenly I started to take the supplements the day before or a week before or a month before, but it was more than a decade of taking the supplements that make a big difference for me, right? So, and then when I went for chemo, I realized that everybody else was actually had a laptop. So did I. I brought a laptop simply because I could watch Netflix for a 5-6 hour affair to be stuck to the drugs. But everybody else was on a Zoom con call or working. And then only I realized, wow, how blessed I am. I took more than a year off. I didn't have to worry about my clinic because I had already sold it by then. I didn't worry about whether my patients will come back to me. I still work twice a week as a dentist. I didn't have to worry about the financial aspect. I didn't feel sick, and my parents didn't have to worry about me. Okay, and what really impacted me was those of you who have been building new skin for a while, resilience is actually a muscle. You have to exercise it. Now, every day we exercise this muscle called resilience in new skin. Okay, and that resilience I surprised that I personally dealt with it mentally as well. So what I'm trying to say is that when I first shown the biophotonic scanner, many people will just say it's a measuring device. But for me, the biophotonic scanner kind of changed the trajectory of my life. Okay, I was very fortunate. Straight away, I was traveling, even though with no hair. I had the freedom to do a lot of things. I even went on TRME because my cancer treatment, I ate so much and I put on a lot of fat, and it still worked even though I'm on drugs that will actually make me fat, right? And my skin also has been getting better and better. Okay, so what supplements do I take? If ever you want to know, I said earlier we become product of the products. This is what I take. Okay, this is what I take every single day, right? I haven't even included the skincare that I use. Okay, so when I talk to people, when I show this chart, invite, scan, advise, close, rescan, referral, I showed you how I do it to close in terms of a customer. But you know, every single process that I do in this 6 steps, right? Every time I'm checking in with a person, are you open to look at an opportunity that can change your life? Are you open to look at a way that you can scale a business? Are you open to look at at a different income stream? So every single touch point I have, I never stop checking if the person is ready to look at the opportunity. Why? Because the biggest superpower of Prysm IO is not just selling or retaining your customer on the products. It is, to me, it's a life transforming tool because it opens the door to allow people to see further what is this opportunity, how can it change my life. So I really really urge everybody, please have one. And I mean, you can use it just to scan people as customers, but I really use it as a door opener to share with people what this opportunity really really brings. So with that, thank you so much, New Skin, for allowing me to come and share my story, and I look forward to Trin's sharing